Hey, did I just wave? I'm pretty sure I just waved to you guys. What is going on, everybody? My name is Danny Phantump. Welcome back to the channel. I've been trying my best over the past couple weeks to really kind of explain to you all what's been going on in the Pokemon market and why things are different now than what they were like 5 years ago, especially with how much Pokemon cards are out there, how many Pokemon cards have been produced. And I want to go over booster boxes today, but tomorrow, which is Pokemon 150 Fun Day, if you don't know what that is, you get the chance to win a booster box of Pokemon 151 every single Friday until the release of the Scarlet and Violet 151 set. So make sure you go back, watch the video from last week Friday, leave a comment, leave a like on that video, make sure you're subscribed, and then come back tomorrow to see if you're a winner. But tomorrow is going to be hopefully an absolute banger of a video. I have never put so much time and effort and math into a video, so I'm really hyping up tomorrow. And I guess if it's a major letdown, that would be an aw shucks moment, because I put a lot of thought into it, going over the amount of cards that are currently in circulation that have been printed over the past couple years, utilizing pull rates to try and determine if we're in a junk wax era, or how many of those secret rare alternate art VMAXs exist. How many alternate arts exist? How many copies of that Umbreon VMAX that you have are out there in existence? And I think I've narrowed it down to at least a good approximate number. So come back tomorrow. We're going to go over the math on all that. And if you enjoy the content, please do me a favor. Click that subscribe button down below. Share the channel. We keep growing because of you guys. So thank you so much for everything. All the likes, all the comments. It really helps feed the algorithm. So thank you so much for everything. But I've really wanted to compile or include stories that kind of are like receipts for why things are different now than what they were like a few years ago. So I'm going to flip you around. And I've got a couple of communications here that I had with Distributor prior to booster boxes really starting to blow up. And this, as you can see up here, was from July 8th, 2020. Now, if you are looking to order booster boxes from a storefront, or if you are a storefront looking to order booster boxes from a distributor, it's tough out there right now. We've had some reprints, right? We had Lost Origin, we had Silver Tempest, we had Scarlet and Violet Base. Those reprints have kind of hit, and that's helped a lot of storefronts get some stock, get some booster boxes in stock. However, when it comes to other sets, Astral Radiance is even very tough to find. You might be able to find it at some distributors, but at a price that is more so, or more than wholesale than your typical wholesale price. Paldea Evolve probably still available at a lot of distributors, but again, at a price that might be a little bit marked up. But if you look older than that, if you look older than Lost Origin, if you're looking for Brilliant Stars, Evolving Skies, really any sets from the Sword and Shield block, if any distributors have them in stock, it's going to be a very small amount that's going to limit you, and they're going to be very expensive. Basically market pricing for LGSs to order them from distributor. That's just part of it. I mean, supply is just gone. It's completely gone. During the pandemic, Seal product got bought up like crazy. Pokemon instituted this thing where they printed 18.8 billion cards. 18.8 billion. Over the span of 2 years, and even that was not enough to print enough booster boxes to maintain booster boxes in stock at Pokemon or at LGSs, and because of this, it's completely different than how things used to be. So in July of 2020, I had some communication with a distributor, and I just went back and forth and said, hey, you know, I'm looking to order booster boxes, because booster boxes were completely different. You could order booster boxes and they would basically always be available. Now Pokemon prints booster boxes, and this could change down the road, and they send everything out. So there's nothing left over at this giant warehouse that exists in Bellevue, or that's in this giant warehouse that might be somewhere over by where Millennium Print Group might be, or wherever the case may be. There's giant warehouses where they used to stock a ton of booster boxes, and then when distributors were low on stock, they would be able to order pallets of these booster boxes. Pokemon would have them in stock, they would ship them to the distributor, and then the distributor would say, okay, we've got some inventory in here, here's what we have available, and you can order whatever you want. And then when they'd get low stock, they'd just order more. However, Pokemon doesn't have those booster boxes in stock anymore. The only way they're able to get more booster boxes is by printing more, or finding some circulation from maybe a distributor that has an overstock of them, or maybe a marketing company that has an overstock of them, or sometimes they get shipped back and forth overseas. It's just completely different now than what it used to be. So in July of 2020, now remember, this is right after the pandemic kind of started, but a little bit before the boom of Pokemon happened. So I ordered something from my distributor, and I had other things that I should have ordered and could have ordered, but I ordered 48 boxes of Primal Clash. So this is 48 boxes at distributor pricing, at wholesale pricing, in July of 2020. Primal Clash came out in like 2015. So this was 5 years after the set came out. There was Primal Clash still available at distribution to order. You cannot find, what's a set that came out 5 years ago? What, Sword and Shield, Cosmic Eclipse, Unified Mind, something like that? Those aren't available anymore to order. It is completely different now than what it used to be. These Shining Legends, Pikachu, and Mewtwo pin boxes, those little Shining Legends, Mewtwo, and Pikachu pin boxes, they came with like 2, I think, Shining Legends packs, and then you got the little pin. Those were available still to be opened, or to purchase. And I bought them, and then just had them open them right on the spot, so that way they could just ship me the packs, the loose packs, because they were still available. That was printed in 2017, so that was 3 years old at the time. A couple months prior to this, in April, March of 2020, I got an in-stock list from distribution, and this is what they had in stock. Furious Fists. So a set that's out of print, that's not going to be available anymore at Pokemon's warehouse. 3-pack blisters. They had Furious Fists 3-pack blisters in stock. This is 7 years. I think Furious Fist was 2013. It might have been 2014. But about 7 years after Furious Fist came out, still available. Same thing as Phantom Forces. 3-pack blisters still available for order 7 years after release. Then you have Primal Clash, you have Roaring Skies, another set that came out right around 2015. Booster boxes of that were available. Ancient Origins at the bottom there, another set that came out about 5 years ago as well. And the list goes on and on. There was Breakthrough, there was Breakpoint, there was Steam Seeds. There was a lot of stuff that was available at that time. Now, if you look at an in-stock list, and we've gone over in-stock lists before, there's just, it's some collection boxes, maybe some ETBs. But other than that, not a whole lot of booster boxes, not a whole lot of 3-pack blisters or things like this, because those get eaten up right away. They get force allocated, not even force allocated. They get allocated to storefronts, and storefronts are just kind of taking what they can get at this time, because even now, the demand for Pokemon products is still there. It's just the price point isn't there anymore. So I thought this would be interesting to kind of look at, because this is how things are different now than how they used to be. And back then, you could still buy booster boxes of Evolutions, of Burning Shadows for $95, $100 a piece. The margins were extremely small on a lot of sealed product because there was just constant availability of all the sealed product. Now, it's not like that anymore. You have so many sealed collectors out there. Back then, there weren't as many sealed collectors. I remember in Madison Regionals in like 2017, buying a Dragon's Exalted booster box for $200. That set at that time was 5 years old. A set that's 5 years old right now is not selling as a booster box for $200. And we'll look at that right now, because Sun and Moon booster boxes are just taking off through the roof. And part of the reason behind that is because demand is so high. So they had availability of some of these booster boxes in 2020, but at that point it was pretty much too late to reprint any of these sets. You got really small reprints of Ultra Prism, really small reprints of Unified Minds, and that was pretty much it. There was some additional restocks, some additional stock found of Lost Thunder pre-release kits, which came with a booster box, maybe some Fates Collide that kind of hung around out there for a little bit, but outside of that, it was very difficult to find any sealed product once all these people came back into the hobby. And because of that, a lot of these either got put away in storage or they got cracked open. A lot of breakers, a lot of people ripping product and things like that during the pandemic, making money doing things like that, reduced the supply of this a lot, but demand continues to rise. And part of that is because tag teams keep getting pumped all over the place, and tag teams being through the back end of the Sun and Moon era, just because it's Sun and Moon kind of puts an emphasis on some of the other cards in Sun and Moon that might be a little less available than what we saw throughout the entirety of the Sword and Shield block, because there was clearly, if you look at the print distribution of how many cards Pokemon has printed over the years, a lot more cards printed during the Sword and Shield era than the Sun and Moon era. And with Rainbow Rares kind of falling off, people have been looking at those. There's just a lot more supply right now of Sword and Shield sets than there were of Sun and Moon sets. And because of that, we're looking at some really, really massive growth from a lot of these booster boxes. So starting out with Sun and Moon base in July of 2022, you can see how low this box was. It was down to $190, $104, which is still above MSRP. Started going up, and then in January of 2023, kind of backed off a little bit, relatively consistent up until June, and then started shooting up again. Now it's sitting at a 1-year high of $250, $227, and continuing to climb. There are some cards in this set that really have popped off. That full art Lily from Sun and Moon base has gone over $100. Some of the evolutions like Espeon and Umbreon, the full arts, Rainbow Rares, have really started popping off as well. Here's Guardians Rising, which did not really see a decrease like what we saw from Sun and Moon base, but this one has continued to rise as well. You can see its 1-year low in July of 2022 at $267.19. Kind of hit a wall in January, January, slowed down, but still gradually rose a little bit up until June of 2023. And then over the last month and a half or so, it's really skyrocketed up to 383.31. So some really big growth numbers right there. Burning Shadows, this one a little bit more interesting because this one was trending downward on the back half of 2022. You can see it's starting to go up a little bit in July, and then once October hit, it leveled off a little bit. December of 2022 backed off a lot and started going down up until February of 2023, and then started taking off. So it's gained about $70 or so. $352.19 was its one-year low, which it hit in March of 2023. But then you can see it's gained almost 20% over the last 5 months, sitting at $412.76 currently. So that's a one-year high for Burning Shadows. Crimson Invasion, another one that was actually trending downward. You can see the trend going in the downward motion from July of 2022 all the way up until March of 2023. That's where it hit that one-year low of 168.29. Now it's gained almost 20% since then. So over the last 5 months, it's definitely grown quite a bit. It hit 194.55 as its one-year high about a month ago, kind of leveled off. Now it's at 193.84, but that's even Crimson Invasion. Ultra Prism, huge growth numbers for this one. 351.70 was its one-year low in July of 2022. Obviously, you can pull that full art Lily, which is super expensive. You can pull that full art Cynthia, which is also super expensive. A real small reprint of Ultra Prism kept this price down a little bit during the back half of the pandemic, but now really trending in the upward direction. You can see slow, consistent, natural, organic growth basically from July of 2022 all the way up until May of 2023, and that's where things really started to take off, sitting at 481.34 currently, so that's a one-year high for Ultra Prism. Forbidden Light, really the only one that's been going backwards, still trending in the upward direction now, but you can see in August of 2022 is when it was kind of at its high point and then really took a huge dive after that, all the way up until March 2023, where it hit that one-year low of 281.94. Its one-year high was actually hit in October of 2022. That's when it was at 321.48. Now it started to trend upward again, sitting at 297.68 currently, but still closer to its one-year low than its one-year high. Here is Celestial Storm, which is doing extremely well. Also, obviously, a lot of hype with Celestial Storm with that Rayquaza that's in there. The Rainbow Rare Rayquaza, super cool card. 474.20 was its one-year low, which it hit in July of 2022. Slow growth, a slow progression up until about March of 2023, and then things really started to take off. It hit $616.68 in June. That was its one-year high. It's backed off just a little bit, lost about $9. It's sitting at $607.12. But here's a set that's, not even, this set might only be not even 5 years old. I don't think, I can't, maybe 2017 when it came out, so a little bit over 5 years. But a set that's over $600, $607.12 is where it's currently sitting. Absolutely crazy. Lost Thunder has done extremely well over the last 4 or 5 months. You can see slow progression from July of 2022 all the way to March of 2023. It went from $340 to about $380, and then it really started taking off, started ramping up in May and June, and then July it just shot up like crazy, sitting at 531.66 currently. So that's a one-year high for Lost Thunder. Team Up, forget about Team Up. Team Up has just lost its mind altogether. Absolute craziness for Team Up. A little bit underprinted compared to the other sets in the tag team whole group there, because this one didn't get a booster box reprint like what we saw, a small booster box reprint of not Cosmic Eclipse necessarily, but a lot more packs of Cosmic Eclipse, Unified Minds, and Unbroken Bonds. But you can see slow progression from July of 2022 up until March of 2023. It gained about 10% and then really started taking off. So from $893.95 in July of 2022, it's almost doubled in price over the past year. So it's sitting at $1,612.53, $1,612.53 is the current market rate. Not a whole lot of listings on a lot of these booster boxes on TCG Player. That really goes to show you that new market prices may become available because the availability just isn't there anymore. Here's Unbroken Bonds. This is the set we were just talking about that had a small booster box reprint during the pandemic. Not a whole lot that really impacted the market price, but it did bring it down a little bit. Relatively flat from July of 2022 up until January of 2023, and then started to go down a little bit. You can see it hit its one-year low in March of 2023, and now it's gained about 15% since then. So over the last 5 months or so, it started to shoot up. It's sitting at 509.44 currently. That's a one-year high for unbroken bonds. Unified Minds also moving way up. Slow growth from July up until March. You can see it at 372.15 as its 1 year low in July, and then really took off in March, sitting at 516.66 currently. Really cool set with that Mewtwo and Mew. Very cool cards. Then we've got Cosmic Eclipse, which is also just a fan favorite with the character rare cards that they call secret rares in the set, even though you get like 2 or 3 per booster box, but also the alternate arts that are in here as well. In July of 2022, this was sitting at 523.73, so that was a 1 year low. Slow growth again up until March of 2023, and then you can see a lot of people started getting into those tag teams. A lot of people started getting into Sun and Moon, and because of that, exploded in price. Hit 759.20 recently. That's a 1 year high for Cosmic Eclipse. You also have some specialty sets during the Sun and Moon block. Shining Legends not doing very well. July of 2022, this was at a 1 year high of 326.66. It's lost about 10% over the past year as far as sealed ETBs go, so it's sitting at 299.77. That's a 1 year low for that. Dragon Majesty has started trending back upwards. You can see in October of 2022 is at that 1 year high of 358.97. It fell down to 338.61 in March, so it lost about 10%, not quite, maybe 7% or so, before starting to trend back in the upward direction, sitting at 356.96 currently, so close to its 1 year high. And then you have Hidden Fates, which we've talked about a lot recently, but Hidden Fates starting to trend in the upward direction. Now it's backed off a little bit, so it'll be interesting to see what it does. I do think a lot of people have sealed boxes of Hidden Fates because of that reprint that we had a couple years ago during the pandemic. That's really impacted prices and helped them stabilize quite a bit. In October of 2022, this was down to 148.98, started gaining some ground, hit that 1 year high of 176.55 in June. Now it's backed off a little bit, sitting at 167.99, but still about 15% above its 1 year low. And that is all the sealed products from Sun and Moon. We can look at X and Y in a later video, but Sun and Moon has just been completely nuts when it comes to sealed product and what it's done over the past year. So I wanted to bring it to your attention. Hope you enjoy the content. If you do, hit that subscribe button down below, leave a like, leave a comment on the video. It just goes, like I said, a really long way for the algorithm. But regardless, thank you just for being here, talking shop with me. I really appreciate it. Let me know your opinions down below. Thanks guys so much for everything. I'll be back tomorrow with hopefully a banger of a video. Until then guys, have a good one. Peace.